Good evening, guys. It's Kevin again. Tonight we're going just to be discussing a couple of things regarding the iPhone 6 Plus design. And I know you guys must be asking, who am I? Why should my opinion matter? Am I a designer? Am I an engineer? Neither of those, actually. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a designer. I'm just an average consumer, just like you. Basically, when I go shopping for products, I'm interested in eye-catching designs. Which is what I loved about the iPhone 6 Plus, is that it was minimalistic. It feels really good in the hand. The new design with the rounded edges feels more, if you can describe it this way, it feels more organic. It feels like it fits better in the hand. It's more comfortable. There's no edges that cut into your hand. And it's a seamless design. So I have a couple of these phones laid out here, just basically so you can see the differences in design from the iPhone 5C, the Nokia 635, and the HTC Desire 610. And this I just threw in here for old time's sake. This would be the SONY Clie PDA handheld, so it's super old school and it still works. These phones are actually dead. They're not charged. The only one that's hooked up is this one. As I was saying, basically with the iPhone 6 Plus, it's really just, it's a nice design. It's smooth. It's really well made, of course. It's all just one seamless design with the new stainless steel apple, which is nice, very nice touch. The only thing is that I feel like they went backwards with this design, just because if they were looking for something that fit a little bit better, something that didn't cut into your palm right here when you were holding it this way, I really don't understand why they didn't choose to go, for example, with the 3GS design, where it was the clamshell phone and it had a curved back. It already had curved edges. So really, I don't understand why they decided to go with this after they had the 5 and the 5S body style, which unfortunately I don't have to show you guys right now. But the chamfered edges were something that were really appealing to the eye. Like the way that it reflected the light was something that no other phone did, and just recently Samsung started doing that with their, I believe it was the Galaxy Note, if I'm not mistaken. Then now it's an all metal frame, which it's cool. I definitely agree that they should have done that, because it's an eye-catching design. So the fact that they went with no chamfered edges, yes, I understand they have a little curved edge at the screen, but honestly, to me, the phone feels a little bit more subdued. I feel like they could have stepped up their design a little bit more. And again, I feel personally that an iPhone 5 or 5S body with a 5.5-inch screen would have looked better, even though, again, it probably would not have been as comfortable holding in the hand as, say, the 6 Plus or the 6 would be. I'm still with Apple, basically because the phone is intuitive. You can literally just turn it on and anyone can start using it at this point. You know exactly what to do. The icons are easy to read. It's not a complicated system. Not to say that Android or Nokia or any of the other phones don't have their advantages or disadvantages. Just like any company, Apple of course has its downfalls as well. Apps crash just like every other phone, and sometimes things just don't work. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a user experience as a whole. You're not just looking to see what the first features are that come out that nobody else has, which don't get me wrong, and all in good time. Sure, of course, we can all have those features, but if you're not ready to roll out a feature without it being able to work perfectly, I feel you should hold off until you know exactly how it's going to work, until you know that there aren't going to be any kinks in the software, until you know that it just functions the way it's supposed to every single time. Basically, you're looking for consistency in your user experience, which again, that's something that, to me personally, I've found that iOS has been able to offer me. Sure, there are little improvements here and there, but one example would be screenshots. Since day one, or since you were able to take screenshots on the iPhone, you would just press the home button and the power button at once, and it would take a screenshot. With these other phones, you either have to scroll, you have to press a button, or you have to, in some cases, I believe the Android, you have to swipe your hand from left to right or from right to left, and it takes your screenshot. The only thing is that I've tried that on multiple Android phones, and it's hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You have to position your hand the correct way. If you do it too fast, it doesn't work. Another one that I really don't understand is facial tracking, which when you look away, it's supposed to pause the video that you're watching. That to me it's definitely cool in concept, but it does not work that well. Which again, why would you roll out a feature and promote it so much if it's not going to work exactly the same way for every single user? Things like that to me I feel like are unprofessional, just because it feels like you're rushing the product, and at the end of the day I feel like Android is just saturating the market with so many phones because they have so many different screens, processors, cameras, and I feel like instead of focusing on the quantity, they should focus on the quality of the product that they're releasing. And sure, I understand that, okay, Android may not be able to offer just that one phone with that one software and that one hardware, but maybe they should at least try to focus, say, on their Nexus line, which I guess is pure Android. At the end of the day, I mean, things have been proven to work better if they're all made and designed in-house. Okay, maybe not made, or they could be outsourced to, China or wherever it's made. But as long as you're the one that's responsible for the hardware and for the software, I feel like it's just a more cohesive user experience. And at the end of the day, it just makes for a more satisfied customer. Another thing that I really do prefer about Apple is just the Apple Care. The level of service that you get when you walk into an Apple store it's not comparable to anything else. The waits are extremely long because of course there are so many people. You can always find an Apple store that either isn't busy or because they're everywhere. They're like Starbucks. You can find an Apple store in almost every single mall. And it's the only one that I feel that's come close would be this guy. Not this phone specifically, but I just feel like the Nokias they've always been a leader in the industry, and their phones have been durable. They've worked well. Windows has been slow to bring any advanced features. But again, it's really about the entire user experience. It's a fluid UI. The camera's fine. The battery life is outstanding. And as well as this one. This phone right here, this HTC Desire, HTC also makes really great phones. And this phone, the only downside I feel like I can find would just be the screen. The resolution is okay because it is a budget phone. I mean, I think I bought it for $30 during Black Friday. And, the viewing angles are horrible. But at the end of the day, it actually does an extremely good job at what it's supposed to. It's a budget phone. What I personally use it is I use this as my Spotify remote when I'm streaming music through Bluetooth to my speakers. So it's actually a really cool phone that I love. And also I like the minimalistic design, the bar on the bottom with just the microphone, and it has the on-screen controls. This is something that I really, really like. The battery cover is removable, and it's actually fairly solid when it's on the phone. Just like many Android phones, I should say, when you pry it off, it does feel a little bit flimsy, but again, it's not something that you should really worry about if you're not constantly taking the battery cover off of your phone. Usually that's only if you're replacing the battery or switching SIM cards. But other than that, I mean, it's a really good phone. I personally enjoy it. And like I said, this is my little multimedia system for my entertainment. It controls everything in my living room. And then this one right here is just something I wanted to pull out just for size comparison. Really, that doesn't sound good, but it's the 5C. And if anyone wants to buy it, please let me know. It's on sale. So, and then again, just for old time's sake, let's take a look at the Sony Clie. It's called they have it listed as a personal entertainment organizer with a little holographic Clie logo on the front. This one has a memory stick slot with an infrared port, and then it also has this little cartridge expansion slot where you can apparently put a Wi-Fi card so you can go online, which is awesome, but I believe it only works on 802.11b, which is horrible. For the most part, the user interface is extremely simple. It works well. It works how it's supposed to. I actually purchased a replacement battery, and I haven't charged this thing in about, I would say, maybe 2 going on 3 weeks. And in this specific model, because this is actually the updated model, it has two separate views for your launcher. So this is the classic Palm launcher, and you see all your icons there. You can scroll up and down through them. It also has this BlackBerry looking scroll wheel, which you just scroll up and down, and it goes up and down through your folders. So it's actually really quick. Or you can go to the Clie launcher view, and this is of course a resistive screen, which is apparently horrible. There we go. And this is the other launcher that you would get from AT&T. I'm sorry, from Sony. You can put a few shortcuts here. I actually have the infrared remote control shortcut, which launches that app, and I control my TV through this whenever I can't find my remote. Usually it's too much trouble to use it through here anyway. And that's it's a cool little device. I bought it just for nostalgia's sake. The keyboard is horrible, I must admit. That actually, I have no idea how anyone can type on those keys. They're just squishy. They're just really bad, so I would never use it. And then of course there's the VGA camera here, which it's bad. It's extremely bad. Let's see if we can launch the camera. And you can see there, you can see my camera. It's bad. And you can flip it over, and you'll see the other stuff there. But again, it's 640 by 480, so not even worth using. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my video, and please, if anybody wants to purchase this iPhone 5C, let me know.